Bird Box is a 2018 Netflix horror starring Sandra Bullock, Trevante Rhodes and John Malkovich, and it's directed by Suzanne Bier. Hi guys, so very quickly, for those of you who are wondering, this isn't my normal backdrop. I'm actually in a hotel room at the moment. I'm working away from home for a few days, so I thought at night time I might as well try and get some horror movies watched on Netflix and such, and do some quick reviews for them while I'm away, making use of my YouTube time as well. And the first one that I watched on my travels is Bird Box. So before I get into this review guys, this is a spoiler free review because I know that a lot of people still haven't seen it yet, so don't worry if you're watching this before you see the movie, there's no spoilers. So Bird Box is about a woman who's trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic world with her two kids. We see the story from her point of view in present day, and we also see flashbacks from 5 years ago with her in the flashbacks as well as other characters. And with these flashbacks, they show how she got to where she is in the present day. There's some sort of killer entity roaming around, and if it gets to your mind and you look at it, it'll make you commit suicide. As mentioned, there are flashback scenes and present day scenes. The flashback scenes are set 5 years ago. They're mostly around a house with survivors who have made it through day one of whatever's happened to everybody, and they manage to get themselves indoors, and they learn quickly that if you don't look at it, if you cover your eyes, then you should be safe. The present day scenes consist of Sandra Bullock and her two children. Now, the rules are pretty loose in terms of what happens to you if you look at this thing, whatever it is. Some people who look at it, they don't know what it is and it's horrible. You hear a couple of people saying, oh my god, what is that? And once they've seen it, the eyes change, they glaze over, and then they commit suicide. Other people have been heard seeing something, and it's maybe a loved one. One person says, "Mom," and then she walks out and kills herself. So it kind of, I don't know what happened. There's no really any rules as to what you see. And then another interesting one is some people who look at it are sort of immune. When I say immune, they don't actually kill themselves. They go around and try and get other people to kill themselves. One thing I noticed is that most of the people who don't actually kill themselves have a criminal past. So it could be criminals who look at this thing, whatever it is, can see that they're evil themselves and it wants them to spread. So anybody who's survived any loose ones, they'll go and make them look at whatever it is to kill themselves. That part didn't bother me. I didn't mind that they didn't tell us everything. I didn't mind that they didn't tell us why some people are seeing loved ones, some people are seeing something hideous, and some people are just immune. Very early on, they eliminated the chance of people using technology as a way of survival, maybe using their phones to see with their screens and stuff so they don't have to look directly at this thing. One scene you see a woman looking at her phone when it was just all starting to happen. She was indoors, so she should have been safe, but she was looking at her phone, and then the next minute she's smashing her head through a window. Another time somebody thought that they could use the security cameras in the house to try and see what's happening but not actually look directly at whatever it is. And again, that didn't work out for that person either. So that tells us straight from the off that there's no escaping this thing unless you can maybe cover your eyes as best as you can. The best parts of this film were the flashback scenes for me. I liked the whole introduction to the virus. We'll call it I don't know what it is, but we'll call it a virus. I like that introduction from day one, and then with the group of survivors getting into the house, it was gripping all the way through those scenes. And then when it took you forward to the present day, it was quite quiet, and I can see where they were going with it. And I think obviously we see that present day and the flashbacks were going to meet up at one point, which was good, but when it took you to present day, it took you out of the gripping moments of what was happening in the flashback scenes. So I much preferred the flashback moments, and the flashback moments were predominant in this film. We've seen more flashbacks than present day. I think most of the present day, apart from the very end, but most of the present day moments were quite predictable. There was a scene, again this is no spoilers, there was a scene when somebody had to tell somebody else that the only way to get through this is if somebody takes off their blindfolds and looks, and you could see what was going to happen after that. Again, I won't spoil it for you, but it was very predictable when we got the introduction to that moment. Something I found pretty bizarre was there was two very interesting characters at the start of this film. The story even gave them a kind of character arc so we can get behind the character. They gave us something to look at and look forward to seeing throughout the movie. But those two characters quickly disappeared. They ran away for no reason. We didn't find out why they ran away or where they went to. And because they were quite big characters to begin with, I thought we were going to go back to those characters, even if we saw them as dead bodies. But they never came back into the movie, so I thought that was pretty strange. Again, I would have liked to see what happened to them. I don't think there was one annoying character in this film. I think everybody was a great character. Everybody was somebody you can root for, and even the kind of annoying characters, you got behind those people in the end, because even though they were annoying, they had characteristics, they had realism, they were human, and the things that they were doing in this film was things that maybe reflect in real life, what people would do in real life. So every character was great. Obviously Sandra Bullock was the standout in this film. Everybody's been going on about the similarities between this movie and A Quiet Place, so I tried to put that at the back of my mind when I was watching Bird Box. And yes, I did see similarities between A Quiet Place and Bird Box, because they were using the senses as part of the storyline. And yes, at times it did feel like a kind of cheap knockoff to A Quiet Place, but it was still an interesting concept. I liked the idea of not being able to see rather than speak in a film, and I think that they used that storyline pretty well in this film. As the movie was coming to a close, I kept thinking to myself, why is this film called Bird Box? Yes, there was birds, they found birds near the beginning of the movie, and anytime the evil entity was coming, the birds would chirp, so it kind of let them know, it was like a warning for the people that something's coming, so make sure you're not outside and stuff. So I thought, okay, but surely there's a reason for it. But then she put the birds in a box halfway through the movie, or the present day, and I'm thinking that's not really enough to know to call it Bird Box. So it was a kind of confusing title until the very end. Again, I won't spoil it for you, but I will say that the title Bird Box is a metaphor. Overall, I really enjoyed Bird Box, and if you're a fan of A Quiet Place, any other movie that uses the senses as a main story arc, then I would highly recommend Bird Box. So have you seen Bird Box? What do you think of it, guys? Did you think it was too similar to A Quiet Place? And a bigger question is, did you prefer Bird Box over A Quiet Place? Leave the comments down below. Anyway guys, thanks a lot for watching again. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.